Pirates. For years, these vagabonds have roamed the Gulf of Aden, terrorizing ships that dared stray too close to the pirate haven of Somalia. These ships are captured, their crewmen tied, gagged, and ransomed back to their home countries for much more than what human life is actually worth, and the valuable booty within said ships seized and used to finance various unscrupulous means. These sea bandits have, within the past 3 months, captured 10 vessels containing crude oil, food, medical supplies, and politically incorrect t-shirts. With pirates standing in the way, how can the Western world be entertained by the poverty-stricken populace wearing clothing that distributes blatant misinformation? The Bears beat Peyton Manning? Laughable. Their pass defense was simply atrocious for the said game. Now, European vessels are fearful of venturing into Somali waters to carry out their secret mission of dumping toxic waste that is too dangerous to be dumped anywhere else. What costs thousands of man-hours and euros to dispose of in Europe only costs several Somali children and 30 cents to the euro here in Somalia. Where will they put this sludge if the Somali waters are closed off? Your backyard? These things are detrimental to human life and must be disposed of with the utmost caution. And what can the Chinese do, now that their massive factory trawlers can no longer extract the sea's bounty, without regard to the fishermen who live on the coastline? The citizens of China must settle for only moderately priced fish, now that the fear of a pirate attack has put an end to the common, illegal practice of boats dragging larger than regulation-sized nets to pick the seas clean, ensuring a surplus of cheap tuna for most of the world. But now there is hope, for American President Barack Obama has pledged to work towards destroying the pirate menace once and for all. He has promised that the issue of piracy be placed high on the official United States list of things to get done, right after ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the secret war in Honduras that escapes the public eye, and the nuclear ambitions of one Ahmadinejad. Unfortunately, the stance towards the piracy of Somalia has been to send in warship after warship into the Gulf of Aden, for the purpose of blasting the pirates out of the water with their 20mm cannons and whatnot. The Indians have sent in warships. The British have sent in warships. The Israelis have sent in things they would like to call warships, but actually are not, and so on and so forth. This tactic is not working. Pirates will not be abated by a few warships. Their speedy boats can easily outstrip the average warship of the modern age, and only when caught do the navies of the world have permission to actually blast them out of the water. Instead, we must work towards a totally new approach, a radical approach. Right now, the government of Somalia is without a coast guard, which is why the dumping and general raping of the sea happen without any impediment. The lack of a coast guard in Somalia means that most nations can do what they will within its waters without any fear of recourse by the local justice keepers. But this has now changed. Now the pirates are acting as such justice keepers, and they are doing a surprisingly fine job at it. A recent report stated that fishermen in southern Somalia and northern Kenya have experienced record boatloads of catches, each worth around 50 times the daily wage. The reason? Locals attribute it to the pirates, who have scared off the massive factory trawlers, as national maritime law makes it illegal for such vessels to have weapons of any kind, thus making them easy targets for pirate attack. Before, most fishing stock in the area was caught by foreign interests and sold to foreign interests, resulting in the depletion of the population of fish, leaving no fish for the local fishermen. Now they are taking in record harvests and are enjoying every minute of regained prosperity. What do we do? In this reporter's opinion, the only recourse is to legitimize the pirates off the coast of Somalia and turn them into the first national Somali Coast Guard. This will give the government much-needed legitimacy, as it is slightly lacking in that area at the moment, as well as protect Somali waters from illegal vessels attempting to break international law off its coast. First, we must overturn UN Security Council Resolution 751. This is a general weapons ban on the government of Somalia, made back in 1992 when the area was viewed as the hotspot for terrorist activities. This will allow the Somali government to purchase weapons, as well as actual ships to protect its waters. Second, force the governments of the world to treat Somali waters as though they were any other waters in the world. Governments must negotiate with Somalia to gain entrance through the Gulf of Aden. Just because a country does not have any sort of stable government does not mean that it should be bullied around by the other governments of the world. Finally, work with the Somali government to stamp out any remaining pockets of piracy that are not included in the new Coast Guard. Helping the Somali government with this task, small when we take the entire militaries of the world into the account, will bring it some much-needed confidence. With the blessing of the new Somali government, military action can work. Taking these steps, the United Nations can help end the scourge of piracy in the Gulf of Aden and bring the government of Somalia out of the laughingstock of the known world. In closing, isn't it time we laughed at maybe Lebanon? Or perhaps Greece? I heard they were having some economic crises at the moment.